Coming to a city near you, my knocker. Yeah, we're looking at a 5G, rollout, another type of 5G rollout map. Man, Shalom to the tribe. Falling back with my real ones, man, with my real knockers, man, surfing the wave all night. Had a great night in the ether, man. Great Yapa presentation, man. My jigger, Yosef the real Tekum say, man. Homie DJ Robbie De Niro spinning on 1 and 2s. It's been a long, great night, man. Yeah, this is look, over here you see 2G, 3G, 4G, 4G plus. You didn't even know about that. So you've been on that 4G plus. You see you've been hit up. I mean, right now we're in the Inglewood area. I had to take it to my city for a minute so y'all see what's popping. And for all those in the city, I mean, if this is what LA looks like, imagine Chicago and all New York, all these other areas, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, 5G, the purple one, right? Just look at this. Yo, man, they lighten us up with this 5G. I'll just say it like that. Whether you in Hawthorne, Lenox, you know what I'm saying, Inglewood right here. Zoom in a little bit, man. Inglewood. Hometown, I mean, look. We got over here, Latier. All right. I mean, Latier, Manchester, Sepulveda. These are all main streets, man, if you know LA. You know what I mean? You see certain areas that aren't getting hit up as much. You know what I mean? So that might be strategic. You know, if you are going to stay in the cities, just kind of get to a non-5G situation. You know what I mean? But just because it's not lit up here doesn't mean it ain't going to, still, between these cell phones and, all these transmitters we got anyway, they don't need to be right up on you. It just got to have you surrounded. All you got to know is that you got this 5G having us surrounded, man. And again, whether we just talking Inglewood, or just greater Los Angeles or, I mean, let's keep zooming out. So you see how these little areas are concentrated. All right, so you got LA all the way hit up, right? Start hitting up San Luis Obispo, all that. Yeah, I mean, don't seem like there's too much yet. I want to see what's up with these national forests up here, though, man. Tranquility, what's that? Trinity? All right, what's that? Las Vegas? So they're hitting up Vegas hard. All the main spots, right? All the main spots. Phoenix, Arizona, hitting in hard, so you don't want to be in Phoenix. Phoenix is getting hit up, all right? Phoenix is getting hit up. If you're going to be in Arizona, you know what I'm saying? There's other spots to choose. So, we're just trying to be strategic. I mean, of course, my Naga, we gonna sign up above everything. The Naga, the energy over everything. We know that, but I'm gonna leave you with this. Why is this important with this 5G when we talk this Roni, right? This tenderoni we've been talking about. This tenderoni. Love to Yosef the real been kicking this 5G silent weapon quiet war. And now we're in a real live exercise, right? Didn't Pompello or somebody just slip up and say, man, we're in a live exercise. There's a difference between a live exercise and reality. But everybody got it dropped. Niggas is dying over this. Hey, man, I'm not saying that there's no, lab created super biological weapon. We all know that they have many biological weapons in laboratories. We all know that that's been the name of the game since they arrived on this land, spreading their black plague, biological chemical warfare on us has been their claim to fame. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? There seems to be it's like a mirage, you know what I'm saying, of what they're kicking out of. All right, Corona, boom, 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 but then on the same, on the same slide, what I mean, they're over there sliding us some other biological neuropathogen, we know we're getting sprayed. So we're being fumigated. It's being blamed on one thing, right? This mystery corona situation, right? This old common flu now morphed into COVID-19, right? So what's 18? What's 17? What's 16? What's this 19 about? Does 19 have anything to do with the fact that the 5G rollout, that hit up Wuhan, this is in 2019, right? At the end of 2019. Anything to do with the COVID-19? I don't know, man. I don't know, boss. Why is it important, man? Wuhan, right? That's the epicenter. We done covered some of that. It's the province where the 5G was rolled out, now the center of the deadly virus. So the 5G seems to be directly correlated, and it also causes flu-like symptoms. All right, you know what I'm saying? Flu-like symptoms. Well, that seems like, a very close match as to what people are feeling. And then, of course, they take it up a notch. So it's not just the lab-created situation working on its own. It's also these microwave illnesses. What does that got to do with these 5G spots, right? Like Battlefield Los Angeles, all hit up from Inglewood to Torrance. I mean, South Central, you already know, everything hit up. What's this got to do with this 5G situation? Exposure to 5G waves leads to flu-like symptoms. I mean, is this a way for everybody to get the Rona? All you got to do is turn up this 5G. So what's real? What's reality? I guess, as long as they convince you that you're sick, while literally spraying these silent weapons and these quiet, this quiet neuro-warfare. We're about to get into neuro-warfare. My naga, this ain't no play. Is there a coronavirus? I'm sure there's some biological super neural laboratory situation, you know what I mean? Is it some type of airborne situation, or is the vaccine the virus? And will the corona, the numbers of infected coronavirus people spike up once they start getting vaccines out? Will that cause a super breakout? Because they're really now giving you the super neural, biological chemical warfare, weaponized RFID chip. They're chipping you in the vaccine, whatever other robots they're putting, nanoparticles they're putting into you. Stay away from that shit. You should have already been on that. But if you ain't woke up by now, this might not be the vaccine. If you got every single flu vaccine ever, this might be the one you skip, my noggin. Because the same person owns the patent for the virus and the vaccine, for the cure and the disease. Who's behind the 5G? And if it causes flu-like symptoms, then when it's in a hood near you and me, you're going to have a lot of sick nagas or a lot of sick people. I don't know how it's going to affect. I don't know how it's going to affect the naga. I guess it depends on vibration. But all we can do is just look at the chessboard, man, because they playing chess, my naga, not checkers. You're playing chess, not checkers. And you just start to see where the starting at, where the starting point's at. You got Texas getting hit up in Houston, San Antonio, Austin, all throughout Dallas, all right? And you got Fort Worth. Hopefully looks like Fort Worth, you know. got a little bit, but, study the map. I'm going to drop the map. They got a little something, but they kind of cleared most of that 5G, man. Then when you get into other areas, more probably the city, you know what I mean? You see it getting hit up. So when we say, get out the cities, it don't necessarily mean that you got to, be living in a tree, inside a tree stump. It just means, just pay attention to what's happening, man. If you can kind of get to some of these, less populated situations, where you can at least see the effect, if you can, it's almost like living in the future because you can see it before it happens, on your piece of the plot, I'm saying? Your piece of the lot, get to your own lot, man. Get to your own lot. Or at least get closer to something like that. You know what I mean? Don't just say, I'm going to stay right here in the purple and I'm just going to ride my knock. That's cool if that's all you can do. I know that we got people, old and young, that's all they're gonna be able to do. You know what I mean? So that's all Hawa. Hawa got us all in all, Look, man, just take it back to Daniel, you know what I mean, and the homies being in the fire pit with the king of Babylon turning up the pit. No matter how much that fire got turned up, not one thread of the garments was ever singed, my nugget. Like no flame. It was beautiful, you know what I mean? So that's how I see us. So, in no way it's just to, say, oh, okay, run, go crazy. Nah, it's just, just be smart if you can. If you can, if it's Zani to you, you know what I'm saying, get to an area outside of some of these main purple zones, is all we saying. Because there's a definite correlation with these areas that's getting hit up. And you see Arizona's big, man. You got all kind of stuff happening in Arizona, but you see the more dense areas, just get outside these areas because, you're going to have a lot of these people in these areas, possibly and, very likely, getting some of these symptoms. And all they got to do is have you get the symptoms to say, oop, yep, that's the Rona, because the 5G is the Roni. The 5G is the Roni. Look at all these, look at all the symptoms of microwave illnesses, headaches, dizziness, nausea, skin rash, itchy skin, burning, foot issues, low, high blood pressure, all this stuff, depression, anxiety. How many of that is happening to us anyway? And who would have thunk it? It's because we getting bombarded with this super 5G. Why? So that our internet can be faster, so that we have more mobile coverage, man. Come on, man. This is crazy. You gotta correlate this stuff. If you feel like you're super anxious and super depressed and all these other things they saying, if you're feeling like that, you got all your mood switching up. Nah, man, you're being frequencied on, man. It's a frequency war. You feel like you're getting sick, you got allergies. Man, someone dropped something about a woman sleeping in a copper bed or something like that because she had Wi-Fi allergies. I think I saw that on IG, man. Wi-Fi allergies. So she's sleeping in a copper bed. It costs like $500 or so. Matter of fact, kind of reminded me because I wanted to look up. Let's see, copper bed Wi-Fi allergies. $500. I'm just gonna see if this pops up. Oh man, y'all thought I was playing, man? You thought it was play? Y'all thought it was play, huh? Woman with Wi-Fi allergy sleeps in $500 copper sleeping bag, man. Hey, I might want to look into that, especially if you're gonna stay in them purple zones, man. But Wi-Fi in general, you know what I'm saying? You gotta cut that Wi-Fi off at night at least, if you got it. A woman who claims to be allergic to Wi-Fi is asking her hometown to discontinue their wireless internet to ease her condition. Rosie Gladwell, 70 years old, currently spends much of her time tucked inside a copper and silver thread sleeping bag, which costs $500 to avoid electromagnetic fields, EMF emitted by modern technology such as Wi-Fi, cell phones. She's worried about the rollout of 5G. Oh, is she tripping? Is she tripping? Because Wuhan rolled out the 5G. Now they got that Roni, right? They rolled it out right there on All Souls Eve, right? Samhain, right? Where all the gateways to the undead, right? So then they are sparking up whatever into whatever dimensions, connecting with it, whatever energies, right? So you think it's play. Why on All Souls Eve do they roll out 5G and everybody gets the Roni? Why on All Souls Eve do they roll out 5G and everybody got the Roni in Wuhan? Is expected to have 10,000 5G base stations by the end of 2019. What's that COVID-19 about? My knockers, we just see it clearly. China Telecom has established a 5G network covering airports, railroad stations, and other areas in the city, which will also help boost the digital and intelligent transformation of the industries with 5G technologies, said Li Hongbo, general manager of the company's Huawei branch. China Mobile Huboy branch has activated 1,585 G base stations in the city. Yeah. Achieving the 5G coverage of universities, man, transportation hubs, and other densely populated areas, according to the branch. Now, look, a lot of people got these theories as well. While the schools are on lockdown, they're putting this 5G in schools. I saw these little areas, in different states that have very little people, but there's a little purple dot on them that have the 5G in whatever high school, whatever elementary school. So they are targeting these schools to put the 5G in the schools. And look at it, man. They're playing chess, not checkers, because the schools are always in all these neighborhoods. So if you get the 5Gs in the schools, you pretty much got all the neighborhoods covered. Because now you use the school as a damn 5G super beam, super transmitter. They got them in the universities, elementary schools, high schools. They're establishing the 5G corona connection within the thesis of controlled demolition of a deep state. Oh man, that look like some drop. That look like some drop. You know what I mean? So pull up this link. You know what I mean? Dig on it and pay attention. You know what I mean? Coming to a hood near you. Stay away from that purple zone. If you gotta be in it, if you're gonna have to be in it, you're gonna have to bag back, man. You're gonna have to get you a sleeping bag like Miss Gladwell here. Got a copper sleeping bag. I think that's pretty dope. I'll leave this link. Maybe you could dig on it. Cause she might have a drop. She said, nah, man, if they introduce 5G, then I don't know what the future will bring. It's a really scary issue. I'm actually quite frightened about the future. She said, at the moment, I've managed to make myself safe by being fortunate enough to live in a house in the countryside where there are no measured electromagnetic frequencies. My naga is just about dodging all hijacks at all costs. Why battle frequencies when you don't have to? It ain't about being super warrior, 5G warrior. You know, you got to build your vibration up. Hawa is building your vibration up. If you don't have to tackle this 5G right now, then don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing stopping you, you know. I mean, I pray ain't nothing stopping you from, getting, to, more of a, secluded area, man, a little alcove so that you can charge up a little more. If you do got to face the 5G, at least charge up first. But you coming out the cities, you already been getting bombarded on poison water, GMO this, Monsanto that, chemtrails, aluminum, barium this, desiccated blood, witchcraft potioned up. And then you just want to come out and battle 5G right away. Not if you don't have to. Not if you don't have to, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to blitz every play. I mean, switch up your defense, man. So that's all we saying. Get the connection. And, man, even states like Utah aren't safe, you know what I'm saying, in all the cities. So if you're going to be in Utah, Arizona, Colorado, be in an area that has a lot less electromagnetic frequencies, like the homegirl was saying, man. Go to a spot. She says there are no measured electromagnetic frequencies, but if they roll out that 5G, then I don't know what the future will bring. We talking futuristic, man. So she spent hundreds on gear to protect her against electromagnetic radiation, such as a $250 radiation detector. That's pretty, I mean, it's feasible to have a radiation detector, to have a couple of these sleeping bags, maybe, you know what I mean? Switch off, you know what I mean? Like, if you could get a good night's sleep without that frequency on you, man, you know what I mean? That might make a difference, man, at least once a week. You know what I'm saying? Just get one for the family, man. Everybody choose a day. This is my EMF free day. Bang. Let me alone. Let me sleep. I'm chilling. So look into these sleeping bags, man. That's pretty dope. All right, man. All right. And like I said, the FCC announced that Salt Lake City will be 5G wireless test site, man. All right. So that's a big city in Utah. Watch out. Federal Communications Commission has announced that Salt Lake City and New York City will be test sites for the new 5G wireless technology. These projects will test new advanced technologies and prototype networks like those that can support 5G technologies. We're also establishing a process to ensure new innovators can have access to this testing resource while protecting current licensed users. Okay. Sounds great, man. Sounds dandy, right? I thank all those who are leading these efforts on the ground and stand committed to continuing our efforts to empower innovators. Empower. Who's getting the power, man? Who's getting the powder? Who's getting the powder? FCC's Innovation Zone will support Powder, platform for open wireless data-driven experimental research. That's the key. This is all experimental, my nigga. And they ain't done sufficient testing on 5G to be rolling it out this aggressively. It's a weapon. It's a weapon. They know the drop. That's why they don't got to test it. They know the drop. And several connected corridors of Salt Lake City, the University of Utah will oversee some of it. Some of it 5G typically refers to fifth generation mobile networks offering faster speeds and more reliable connection. Faster speeds, faster speeds. How fast do you want to go? Do you want to drive in a car going 300 miles per hour? I mean, is that going to, you know what I'm saying, bake your noodle, you know, get your rocks off? Or do you want to just a nice, smooth ride, nice, smooth, safe ride, man? I'm going to take a nice, smooth, safe ride when I can. Allow why? All praise for why. So, all right, so you got the University of Utah kicking this off, overseeing some of this 5G, man. Who's behind it? And remember, the 5G got everything to do with the flu-like symptoms, has everything to do with this tenderoni launched off in Wuhan. Man, love to pull up the homie, man. Always shoots me great links, man. Every day I get great links for the tribe, the family. Henetsk or Henek 9, HENSEKH 9. Love to you, bro. Drop this. Man, we got some good drop. Let's start with this one here. It's about a 4-minute dissertation, but he said check the date, right? So we look at this date. We're in 2005, according to this timestamp here. All right, so look at what they're discussing and apply it to what's going on now. Just know that they play chess, not checkers. This stuff here, you know, you got some folks that, you know, were very skeptical back then, asking him questions that he couldn't really answer. And you see what's happening today. We're just talking neuro-warfare, my naga. Love to Brian, too, who puts it right there. Notice that a top bioweapon scientist who worked for the U.S. shadow government out of Harvard was secretly arrested by FBI just before the leak. His previous employer, the main university in Wuhan. Again, we're talking about the universities rolling out this 5G, just like Utah. There's another part he said here about this neuro situation. Once infected, the nanotechnology, that's another thing, man, because these are little robots migrating through the bloodstream to brain and adheres to the neurotransmitters of the victim's brain, allowing for the nanoparticles to speak to and decode those neurotransmitters through a process called transcranial brain stimulation, achieved through the infrastructure of a global system of thousands of exascale supercomputers already in place using electromagnetic low-frequency waves, 5G, man, emitted from towers, satellites, and mobile platforms. 5G, man, enough to monitor the brainwaves of every human being on Earth who is actively plugged into the system. Neuro-Warfare. 5G is the tenderoni. You dig? Pay very close attention to what's being discussed. Let's go.
Individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics. To the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics. And this is the expression, RT-PCR.
Listen to the terminology, religious fanatics. So if you say, I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the seed of David, they'll call you a religious fanatic, huh? It's not just Christians and Muslims. It's anybody that, you know what I'm saying, takes the word of the Creator serious, you know, really embodies the journey, embodies the path, you know what I mean? So to them, they can't connect to anything to do with the Creator. So everybody else outside of them would be religious fanatics. Now, forget all that. Just pay attention to the weapon they have against whoever they call religious fanatics. There's a weapon for you. It's coming to a hood near you. It's coming to a city near you. Neuro-Warfare in the form of self-modifying viral delivery system.
Real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT.
So he's saying there's two different genes. So for those who are religious fanatics, they have a different type of gene in their cranium, all right? And those who are like, I'm not religious. So where do you fall? Where do we fall? Because we would all say we're not religious. Just like he's about to say, we're not religious. You know what I'm saying? However, you know, I surf the wave. I do my investigation, but your investigation to them is a religious fanatical investigation. Who is Preston John? You're a fanatic. You're a fanatic to dig on Preston John and King David in the timelines. You must be a religious fanatic. So which gene do we have, right? Either way, there's a weapon for you.
MAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach. What you see
here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market, blowing up the market.
So our
wow. I'm gonna bring that back, and then I want to discuss what he's just saying right here. These are skeptics, right? They're in 2005. Like, what do you mean? You're gonna create a virus? Listen up, a neuro-warfare, self-modifying viral delivery system, right? You're gonna create a virus that attacks the religious fanatical gene so that they won't be fanatic about that. So what does that really mean? Whatever you care about, whatever you're passionate about, however you love the Creator, they have something to disarm your connection with the Creator, to disarm the gene. They're going to show you how the brain lights up when they're reading scripture. Some part of the brain lights up when they're reading scripture. And they're learning how to attack this shit specifically so that you don't give a fuck about the word of the Creator, about the journey, you know what I'm saying? The spiritual journey, man. Like, this is attacking your mental connection to spirit. I don't know, man. Listen to the question again.
Hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior.
By vaccinating them against being religious fanatics? Listen to the question. Let me go back.
This approach. What you see
here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market, blowing up the market.
So
he says, so look here, jabroni. What you're saying here is that by studying this virus, we're going to stop someone who wants to, you know, cause reckless endangerment. You know what I'm saying? We're going to stop that by studying this virus, and listen to the response.
Our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior.
Whoa. Did you even conceive? I mean, with all this Corona 5G, silent weapons, quiet war situation, that the vaccine is attacking fanatical religious behavior? Have they tried this out before? I mean, what really happened with the Spanish flu? what really happened, you know what I'm saying, during these wars and these biological chemical weapons that were tried out during these wars, right? So this is all documented. How did this stuff really get, to the outbreak form? All this, none of this stuff is natural. None of these viruses are natural. Viruses are their friend. Viruses have been their friend. If you're a virus is your friend. If you're a virus, you create more pestilence and virus. If you're a virus on the land and you do nothing but strangle the life out of the land and the people of the land, wherever you go, all you do is create other systems, Neuro-Warfare, to do the same thing. Now you want to attack whatever you deem as a religious fanatic, whatever's fanatical. Well, damn, I guess that's everybody in your boat. Everybody who cares will be a fanatic. So we all have this gene as fanatics, and they create vaccines. Now, don't even get into the Naga lace with the lace and the Naga, separating the GM from the GF from the GM from the MAF, macrophage activating factor. All these vaccines with Naga lace separating your macrophage activation factor, man. Your ability to activate with the vitamin D from the sun should be able to heal you and charge you up, but they put the Naga lace to lace the Naga to separate this macrophage activating factor gene so that the sun can't heal you no more. And that's in the vaccines. It's called Naga lace. Look it up. Dig on it. So they've been lacing the Naga. They've been separating your ability to charge up. Is this another attempt to separate the Naga's ability to charge up? One more time, listen to the question, listen to the response.
What you're saying here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from dying on a bomb vest and going into a market, blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior. So we have some very, very remarkable data in this next slide. Here we have two brain scans. These are fMRIs. These are two different individuals with different levels of expression of VMAT2. On top is an individual who's a religious fanatic, an individual, and we've repeated this numerous times, that has high levels of VMAT2. Now, this individual down here who had low levels.
Can y'all fucking believe this shit? Religious brain, non-religious brain. Well, what's religion like? You got to go deep into figuring out what they're really labeling as religious brain. They're not just talking some pure Christianity situation. They're talking about someone who believes, a believer, right? You know what I'm saying? When you read, Isaiah 14, that you're going to make your oppressors, you're going to rule over your oppressors, you get charged up. Does that make you a religious fanatic? Do you have a religious brain? Is this attack on your religious brain? Because you believe, you get charged up. You believe you are the people. You believe that the Creator exists. Hawa. You get charged up. Are you A or B? Let's go.
Of the VMAT2 gene. This individual would self-describe as not particularly religious. In each case, these individuals were read a religious text. This individual light lit up the right middle frontal gyrus, shown here, and that's a part of the brain that's associated with theory of mind. It's a part of the brain that has to do with intents and beliefs and desires. In contrast, in marked contrast, here's an individual who would not particularly self-describe as religious, and when they're read a religious text, what you see is that this part of the brain called the anterior insula lights up. This is a part of the brain that's associated with disgust or displeasure on hearing something.
Wow. Wow. So it's almost like if you believe in a creator at all, you'll fall in this category. These are the atheists, you know, where it's not even just like, oh, I'm not religious, you know, I just rock my flow this way. Nah, nigga, you still considered a religious, you know what I'm saying, fanatic, you know what I mean? I think this might just represent those that's like that hate the creator, you know what I'm saying, that hate any thought that there's a creator. Because when this person's read a scripture, his whole shit light up because he's in disgust. This person's read, you know, theirs light up because they are getting pleasure out of it. That's the frequency. You know what I mean? It's just crazy that they got them separated into religious and not religious. And it's even crazier, but it's even realer that they're creating a vaccine or a virus, because the vaccine is a virus. Vaccines ain't never helped nobody, man. If anything, it's a placebo effect that you got a vaccine and you got it cured or some shit. It's placebo. Your mind healed you. But they're creating a virus, or they've created a virus. Anything to do with the 5G, anything to do with this Roni. This is 2005. We just went back in a little time machine. You see how confident he is. They're over there like, come on, bro. You telling me that this virus is going to suppress religious fanatics? I mean, what's the end game here? To separate you from your primal magic, your primal energy, to separate you. So once you get this vaccine, you ain't going to give a shit about anything to do with the creator. You're just going to be like, I'm cool. I have no connection to anything primal. You become a robot or something. They give you this vaccine, you become a robot with these nanoparticles. Let's go.
Has to do with intents and beliefs and desires. In contrast, in marked contrast, here's an individual who would not particularly self-describe as religious. And when they're read a religious text, what you see is that this part of the brain called the anterior insula lights up. This is a part of the brain that's associated with disgust or displeasure on hearing something.
So you're suggesting I take a CT scan with me when I'm evaluating people to determine whether there's a bullet in their head?
Ooh, I love his questions. First he said, look here, jabroni. He's saying, look here, man, that what did he just say right here? You suggesting I take a CT scan to determine if I should put a bullet in somebody's brain? This dude asked the right questions, man. Let's go.
Hearing something.
So you're suggesting I take a CT scan with me when I'm evaluating people to determine whether there's a bullet in their head?
He's like, come on, bro, what? Yeah, how can I? He's like, how is this going to be useful? He's already there, right? The person presenting already knows, look, man, this is going to be a super virus. It's going to be a super biological neuro-warfare. It's going to suppress their connection to the creator. It's going to suppress that gene, that connection that would make them give a fuck. He doesn't see the whole goal yet. You know, they got uniforms on and shit, you know what I mean? Suits on. He don't really see it yet. Like, oh, okay, that y'all really doing that. He not saying I gotta take a CT scan. He's like, man, just give him the vaccine, put the nanoparticles in him, watch me work, watch us work. He doesn't see it yet. So we had to go back in the past, because right now my man's on that futuristic Roni virus. He's on that Roni. He's not on the Roni. He don't see through Roni's eyes yet, man. All right. First he's like, look, man, you're gonna you know what I'm saying, determine if someone's gonna, blow up something, or, you know what I'm saying, do some super harm based on what? You know, how are we gonna evaluate, how can I measure this thing in the field is what he wants to know. How can I measure this in the field? These are two important questions, right? Let's go back to the first question from the same cat.
For the development of this approach. What you see
here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from going on a bomb vest and going into a market
and blowing shit up. So by studying this virus, he's like, nah, man. By giving him this virus, We won't have to study anything else. We'll be able to control them. We'll be able to control their emotions, control their spirituality. We can reprogram their shit. So he's like, why even study this virus? Now he's like, oh man, would you want to take a CT scan?
And beliefs and desires. In marked contrast, here's an individual who would not particularly self-describe as religious. And when they're read a religious text, what you see is that this part of the brain called the anterior insula light.
So they hate it that much that this is all the anger that builds up just by mentioning anything to do with the creator. So it ain't about religious, non-religious. It's about, you know what I'm saying, you believe in a higher power or you're disgusted with the thought of, you know, any higher power over you.
It's up. This is a part of the brain that's associated with disgust or displeasure on hearing something.
Bang.
You're suggesting like take a CT scan with me when I'm evaluating people to determine whether to put a bullet in their head?
So the data that I'm presenting here supports the concept that we're proposing, and I think that we would not propose to do CT scans or fMRIs on individuals out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan. The virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person.
Whoa. The virus. He's not even talking the vaccine. He just said the virus. He said, we're going to give them a virus. Just let's put it in plain talk. We're going to give these people a virus that turns them from being, you know, faith-based people that believe in a high power to people that are just a normal person. What's that? What's a normal person? Because we thought we was normal. But then y'all think that y'all normal because you have no connection. You think that's normal to have no connection? To trust in science, which is always behind trying to prove something with some theories, always trying to prove some theory? Or do you go straight to the creator? Do you surf the wave? He just said this virus would take you from being a faith-based so-called religion person to not giving a shit.
A fanatic into a normal person.
A normal person. Here,
which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in the Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed in the aerosol?
Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses.
What? Y'all thought this was play? You thought drop was just bored, just felt like dropping something? Oh man, I'm on that Prester John investigation. We about to be on that. I wasn't even going to do this. I'm only doing this because I feel like it's absolutely necessary. When he says respiratory virus, attacking the respiratory, and you got this same virus today, 15 years later, that's attacking the respiratory. And we're, learning how to beat this Roni. Man, shout out to the bro, man, on IG, I think, YMWZAY, something like that. Man, love to you, bro, who showed another bro's video, love to that, bro, about how to cure this corona situation just by breathing in, just that warm air, that aroma, so he had all this stuff in a pot, orange pills, and just breathing in for 15 minutes because it can't survive in that temperature, especially in your nasals. It wants to hide out in your nasal passages. So just by breathing it through the nasal, about 15 minutes, nice, warm, hot, aroma filled, air, steam filled situation. Breathe in that steam, man, that sauna. About 15, 20, 25, you're going to kill all that off before it hits, your whole bloodstream or mucus situation. Just attack it right at the nasal if you're talking about an actual neuro-warfare. So it's like on one end, this corona thing don't exist, right? It's just they're pushing it like the boogeyman. But on another end, they have created biological chemical weapons, right? They're attacking us with the frequency, the 5G, that leads to flu-like symptoms. And now we have this situation that's directed directly to the respiratory so that they can turn religious fanatics into normal people. Come on.
A normal.
I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up, man.
Out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan. The virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in the Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed? Aerosol?
Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses such as flu or rhinoviruses, and we believe that that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of the largest part of the population. Most of
what? Why would you have to expose the larger part of the population? How many religious fanatics are you attacking? They're looking at this thing in Afghanistan and all this to attack, those that are trying to, at least in their minds, defend against invasion, defend their land, you know what I'm saying, where they live against all these particular encroachments and whatnot. I mean, you're over there. You're over there. Just like you're over here. They're getting jammed up. We're getting jammed. Everyone getting jammed up. They're creating this super weapon against what they call religious fanatics, right? To attack the respiratory and to put it into a flu-like situation to reach the greater populations. So they want to get this to everybody. And if they're doing it out there in 2005, I mean, look at where we're at, y'all. Look at where we're at, y'all. You think this is play? I mean, love to the bro that dropped it on me. Y'all keep sharing, just the drop like this, man, because this is going to help us all see clearly because it's so sinister. It's so many layers and levels to it. We got to, work together to piece this puzzle, to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. What did he just say about the respiratory situation?
We've done so far have used respiratory viruses.
Respiratory viruses? Because he talks with a pipsqueak. It don't seem like he's a killer, right? This is a killer. This is the killer of killers. He's creating killer weapons through respiratory viruses to disconnect someone who they call religious.
Such as flu or rhinoviruses. And we believe that...
Such as flu. Oh, yeah. Watch out for the 5G test sites. Flu-like symptoms. You see. You're getting hit up, man, in multiple directions, my naga. And as a magician, when they use one hand, there's another hand. So they're using Corona while they push the actual 5G frequency war in every neighborhood near me, near you. In Long Beach, Hawthorne, Torrance, Inglewood, everywhere you looking. Everywhere we looking. Flu-like symptoms coming to a city near you. Flu-like symptoms coming to a city near you. Flu-like symptoms having everything to do with the neural weapons. Flu-like symptoms having everything to do with the quiet weapons. While they're studying the brain patterns of how you react to scripture, of how people react to hearing scripture, is how they're creating viruses to eradicate the light. Right? They don't want this light happening in your head no more when it comes to charging up With the creator, they don't want this light. You know what I mean? They want everyone to explode like this, right? With disdain and disgust. Disdain and disgust. One more time, man. Then we're going to get to a nice dismount. Let's go.
The concept that we're proposing. And I think that we would not propose to do CT scans or fMRIs on individuals out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan. The virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in the Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed in aerosol?
Well, so the present...
the dude just said, how do you suggest this will be dispersed? Through aerosol? Listen closely. Aerosol, right? We got the chemtrails. Huh? And we keep saying this shit, keep making us sick. These fucking sprays they do, this crisscrossing they do all over our hoods, all over our neighborhoods, right? So he just said, what, aerosol? Listen closely.
Turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in
Listen
the
up.
Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed in aerosol?
Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses such as flu or
Nah. Not just aerosol. Let's get them sick. Let's get them real sick. Let's attack them through an actual virus, a respiratory virus.
Rhinoviruses. And we believe that that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of the largest part of the population.
So everybody can get it. Make it contagious. So everybody can get it. At least those fanatics.
Of us, of course, have been exposed to both of those viruses. And we're quite confident that this will be a very successful approach.
We're quite confident this will be a successful approach, my knock. This is 2005. Now we're in 2020, right? 2020 vision. Hindsight is 2020. And they're attacking us with a virus that's doing what? What's the real cause? What's the real cause of this? What's the real cause of 5G? They're giving you all the game right here. They want to put out your light. They want to take your light out, man, so that you aren't charged up by anything spiritual, by anything natural. It's not just what they call religious. You have a synthetic versus natural approach, an AI, artificial intelligent approach to turn a knocker into a robot that disgusts the creator. When you hear scripture, you get so disgusted that you just damn near fucking have an aneurysm. I mean, this shit should make you disgusted.
Exposure of the largest part of the population. Most of us, of course, have been exposed to both of those viruses. And we're quite confident that this will be a very successful approach.
This is fascinating. What's the name of this proposal?
Yeah, so the name of this project is FunVax, which is the vaccine for religious fundamentalism.
And you have
Whoa, see how they split the word up? See how they twisted the word? FunVax. So it sounds, fun vax. Vaccines are fun. That sounds good. Forked tongue, right? Which is what? Short for religious fundamentalism. What's the fundamentals of religion? It's you. It's your culture. It's the Hebrew culture. So they want to vaccine the Hebrews. It's back to that 340% increase with the autism rates in so-called black boys. It's attacking us at a 340% increase in everybody else, our black boys. The religious fundamentalist, right? Because you are the fundamental, you're the foundation of all their religion, man. And when you hear the creator, you spark up. They want to put the spark out. One more time, they call it FunVax, short for the religious fundamentalists.
This will be a very successful approach.
This is fascinating. What's the name of this proposal?
Yeah, so the name of this project is FunVax, which is the vaccine for religious fundamentalism.
Wow, it's the vaccine for religious fundament. Anyone who's charged up by the fundamentals, by the code, by keeping the code. It's your vaccine. The Roni is for you. But they're also talking to extreme Christians and extreme Muslims. Right now they're in Afghanistan. They're talking any of this extreme stuff. They want to be able to make you dormant. They want to be able to program you, turn you into a damn robot. This spark is against Hawa. This spark is for Hawa. This spark, this smaller spark is way more potent than this big ass, bullshit artificial flame spinning your frequency around. They call it fun vax.
Proposal already?
The proposal has just been submitted, and I think that the data that I have shown you today would support the development of this project. And
just by this data, we're going to pop this off.
We think it has great promise.
And we think it has great promise. Let's fast forward, my nigga. That was 2005. Let's fast forward. Because, the question is this a real live attack, or is it a exercise? But we know when they say exercise, they still mean that they're moving the chess pieces. So it's all one and the same, but they can't even keep the story straight. Love to the healers. Let's go.
There's been some discussion about China and what they knew and when they knew it. And I've been very critical. We need to know immediately. The world is entitled to know. The Chinese government was the first to know of this risk to the world. And that puts a special obligation to make sure that data gets to our scientists, our professionals. This is not about retribution. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. To get this right. A live exercise here about retribution. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here.
Now he's about to say something to him, and they cut it off. But I got another clip that shows you what he actually whispered in his ear right when he said that. Now, when they say live exercise, there's a difference, right? So it's like that means they're using something that's not real to put a real scenario in place. They're making real moves with this phantom invisible enemy, but yet they're putting the 5G in place. They're enabling all these things that you wouldn't really go for, like cutting down all these trees while you're in quarantine. Imagine them sparking up this 5G while you're in quarantine. And you can't go nowhere. You can't get out. You're stuck in the 5G. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to, be proactive, man, and say, all right, how can we make sure that we got, a little clear road, some clear roads up ahead. How can we get to an area that has a little clearer pastures, man? You know what I'm saying? So that you don't have to be stuck in the frequency war, to this avail. You know what I mean? You can, fight your frequency war, differently. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get that full dose. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go from round 1 to round 12. You know what I'm saying? You can work your way up. You can build your way up. You can vibe your way up. One more time. Is it real or is it an exercise?
This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
Now you see Trump's mouth. You see Trump's mouth start moving. Look at his lips. One more time.
This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
You see him say that? You see him say something, right? You see him say something, right?
Matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
You see him say something, right? All right.
We need to do simulations, germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are.
Oh, really? Germ games, not war games. Who owns the patent for the vaccine and the virus? Who's working on the vaccine? Who owns the virus? Who's talking germ games?
Germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are.
A military exercise or war game is the employment of military resources and training for military operations, either exploring the effects of warfare or testing strategies without actual combat. This also serves the purpose of ensuring the combat readiness of garrisons or deployable forces. Now they got the National Guard. Prior to deployment from a home base, war games involving two or more countries allow for better coordination between militaries. Observation of enemies' tactics and its visible show strength for participating countries. He just said we are in a live exercise. They use their words very carefully, exercise. So they're, you know, using these military resources, either in training or they're actually doing a military operation. Either way, you got the military involved. Testing war strategies, warfare, testing without actual combat readiness, what's really going on. And what did Trump just say, man? What did Trump just say, man? Is it an exercise? What did he say right there?
This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
Let's see what he says, man. Here's another clip of it. Love to Drive Nation, man. Always keeping me up on things. Game time, woo. Let's go. What did he say, man?
I thought it was a pandemic.
The Chinese government was the first to know of this risk to the world. And that puts a special obligation to make sure that data gets to our scientists, our professionals. This is not about retribution. This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We need to make sure that even today, the data sets that are available to every country, including data sets that are available.
Now we're in an exercise? I thought there was a full-blown pandemic. Not an exercise, not a drill.
And what did he say? You heard it listen up very closely for the dismount. What did Trump just say?
Available to every country, including data sets that are available.
Now we're in an exercise? I thought.
We need to make sure that even today, the data sets that are available to every country, including data.
Hold up.
We're in a live exercise here to get this right. Exercise here to get this right. We exercise here to get this right. We exercise here to get this right. We need.
You shoulda let us know. He said we're in a live exercise. Trump says you shoulda let us know. Oh, we didn't know this was an exercise because he knows what he just said. If you just said you're in a live exercise, we should have known that, right? We should have known that this was just a test if that was the case. But why are they going to push it? They're going to push the line as if, nah, it ain't no exercise because they got a real agenda. Regardless of this exercise word, there's a real agenda. One more time, what did Trump just say?
This matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We're in a live exercise here to get this right.
What?
We're in a live exercise here to get this right. We need to.
You should have let us know. So don't believe the hype, but just please believe, that they're pushing the line. And it's all to do with a frequency war.
We need to do simulations. Germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are.
That's what we say, man. Stay awake. Wakey, wakey, my noggin. Definitely, you might want to invest in that $500 copper sleeping bag. Hey, I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at her, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, it's all fair game, man. Focus on, these 5G test site rollouts near you. Make sure you get off that grid, if you can, man, because that exposure is going to lead to a lot of sick people once they turn this thing up like they did in Wuhan. Like they just did in Wuhan. 5G tech network covering airports, railroad stations, 10,000 5G base stations. So it ain't even about super boogeyman virus. All right, it's about the full picture. You should have let us know, right? Are we in an exercise? And what really caused the Spanish flu? And what's really going to cause this flu? And why they got this in the city near you? So y'all stay up, y'all choose up, y'all click these links, man. Keep surfing the wave and get wavy for real, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you are fully, frequencyed up, vibing up in your prayer, your meditation, and your diet, and just think clearly as possible, man. We all in this together, man. We all we got. We one drop, man. Allah.